The moment our fellow geeks, dweebs, nerds, and other unfortunates have been fervently waiting for has finally arrived. It's time for TMI, Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerf Herder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker. And now, let's get on with the show. Here is TMI.
Well, we're going to the Goondocks this week.
Going to the Goondocks.
Now, is this a made-up name, the Goondocks, or is this really slang for Astoria?
Well, I think it's what they call it.
That's what they call
Listen,
it.
I tell people I grew up in the Boondocks.
Yeah.
So that my take is that it's a play on that. Not only that, though, but you do see that there is a class structure because obviously Troy and Andy come from the country club end of town, wherein the Walshes are in the lower end.
Which is the Goondocks.
The Goondocks, but I think just their friend group that refer to themselves as the Goonies.
Yeah.
Call it the Goondocks.
Yeah. Well, I guess it could have easily been called the Nerdies, the Nerd
Yes,
Docs,
correct.
or whatever, right?
Actually, that's where we are recording right now.
The Nerd Docs.
The Nerd Docs, yes. Especially in our backup feature when we're actually hanging out on the dock.
Yeah, you'll hear a broken air horn in the background on the Nerd Docs.
I highly recommend not putting your feet in the water.
Yeah.
The giant rubber mechanical octopus might get you. Oh, boy. So this is a fun pairing. Welcome, everybody who just stumbled into this conversation.
Yeah, and unbelievably, another movie we've never spoken of for over 300 episodes.
This has been sitting in the back pocket.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
The Goonies.
The Goonies, 1985. Yeah.
So this is Spielberg coming off an amazing run of movies. Jaws, of course, started it off. Close Encounters, 1941. It's controversial. I'll put it in there.
I don't know. It still comes up in every conversation we have about Spielberg. So
Raiders, E.T., Poltergeist, Temple of Doom, and then after all that, Goonies. So there's
but
heavy
he did
expectation.
Not direct this. He did not direct this.
He didn't direct Poltergeist either, but that had Spielberg all over it. And so does
who directed
this.
Poltergeist?
Tobe Hooper.
Oh, Tobe Hooper. Yeah. Okay. No, he executive produced this with Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy.
Back then, if you saw Spielberg's name, it didn't matter.
I think that's all that matters.
Yeah.
The same year that Back to the Future dropped.
Yeah, because his name is front and center above the title on the poster. Spielberg presents.
Like Spielberg, yeah. This is like a Dino De Laurentiis production, and he branched out. He wasn't just hanging out in the Nerd Docs.
This is true.
He had to expand his horizons, but this is firmly in the nerdy trench of Spielberg's wheelhouse. But Richard Donner, who previously had filmed Superman.
Yeah, and Superman 2. If you're in some circles that honor that version over Richard Lester's.
Well, listen, again, his fingers were all over it until studio decided otherwise. I do own that. They released
the Donner version.
The Donner version.
The Donner Party got their hands on it.
Oh boy! And that's all. This is hand. There's nothing else left of him. Just his hand. Did he not also direct Lethal Weapon?
I believe you're right. Don't quote me on that.
Richard Donner. He is no longer with us, by the way. So I will tell you, I did not have the Blu-ray. I was not going to pay $4 on Amazon Prime for a movie I've seen 100 times.
So what did you do?
I have the 2001 DVD. And I'm like, this is going to be the equivalent of watching a VHS tape. This quality is going to be shite. But it was not. It actually looked pretty good. I don't know if it's because when I play it on the PS4, it upgrades it a little bit, but I did watch the commentary. I watched the commentary with all 7 actors and Dick Donner himself.
Oh, okay. So that I was missing that. I did pay for it, sort of, on Amazon. I had points, so it was free.
Oh, okay. Well, $3.95, $3.75. I know we complain. It's like I think nothing of dropping a couple $100 on a comic book, and I'm like, $3 for a movie. You got me. And I will tell you, I sent you. There is probably a 6 or 7 minute YouTube video.
I watched it. Yes,
of the deleted scenes.
The deleted scenes.
We are gonna. There's a reason we paired up this backup feature with this movie.
Yes,
specifically because of one line of dialogue in this movie.
So we are pairing the Goonies with one of the many Jaws ripoffs that came out in the late 70s in the wake of Jaws. And this one is called Tentacles.
And that's pretty apt title.
About a giant octopus. So yeah. The
only way they could have gone is beak, which I don't really think, because they don't really have jaws. Yes.
Or suckers.
Suckers. Well, yeah, we're a sucker for watching it. And that is on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah. So, and you know exactly what you're going to get when you watch a movie on Tubi. That's all I'm going to say. And I think more than anything, we've covered more of these damn Jaws ripoffs than any other genre on this podcast.
Because there's so many of them.
Yeah. Grizzly. We didn't do Piranha. We haven't done Piranha.
No,
Humanoids from the Deep. I don't know if that's technically a ripoff of Jaws, but
like Day of the Animals is still out there. The Killer Bees, The Swarm.
Yeah.
So all these nature gone wild, I think, can tip their hat to Jaws.
So that's cool. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We didn't go new movies. We didn't go to the theater. I think we decided we're going to stick close to home on this one.
I was convinced that Goonies was on Max because I watched it on Max about 6 months ago.
It probably was, right?
Because it's a Warner's movie. So that's all on Max, but not there anymore.
Not only that, it's also the 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why.
I wonder if they opened the street on the Walsh House for the 40th anniversary.
Oh, well, we can talk about that on the back end because somebody actually bought it after this movie, and then we're so outraged by all the people showing up that they put up barriers and didn't want anybody around. And then eventually, I guess they resold it, and the new people said, "Screw this! This is the Goonies house."
Yeah,
and then fixed it back up to look more like what it does in the movie, and actually opened it up to public events.
And they probably have Chunk out there. $1, take your picture with the Goonies house.
Chunk's a lawyer now, by the way.
Chunk is a lawyer for one of the other Goonies.
He is an entertainment lawyer, and yes, he is. Do you think that's on his business card?
Goonie lawyer? Yeah.
No, Goonie, yeah. Goon lawyer.
That would be great if he was the lawyer for all the Goonies.
That would have been, yeah. Why not? I'm actually mad at those that don't use him as a lawyer now.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it. Yeah, he is a lawyer for kehuyquan.
Yeah, an entertainment lawyer.
Lawyer, yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows Jeff Cohen. I don't think this kid actually, although he does on the commentary, he does talk about the fact being a fat kid in the movie industry. Like you see, he just eats and is bumbling throughout this movie. You know, endless.
Chunk Truffle is
that was
difficult to watch now.
It was difficult to rewatch this on the commentary because he's like, I was so embarrassed, my big fat gut, that Dick Donner cleared the set. Only the actors were on set plus the director.
The Truffle Shuffle. Okay.
The Truffle Shuffle. He also pointed out that right after he got this role, he contracted chickenpox and he was afraid to tell them because he was afraid he was going to get fired.
So he showed up with chickenpox.
Yeah, and he says during that scene on the high def, you could actually see the chickenpox all over.
Did he spread it amongst the cast?
I don't know. Yeah, you didn't hear about some kind of an outbreak. So
hey, Key, can you scratch my back? Thanks.
Yeah. I'm good. Well, he probably has a scratcher in his data files or whatever the hell that this treasure trove of.
Yeah, he could stand 10 feet away from him and scratch his back.
There you go. Before we get into this movie, which we already are, I have one news item, and it ties in to last week. If you listen to the show, you subscribe every week. Jim started something new, which was going back into our archives and finding a backup feature, an old classic, and just kind of bringing it back out and dropping that episode as is. So last week was our first 0.5 episode, and we talked Highlander. I was amazed to hear that this was back in the day when we actually recorded with 2 tin cans and a string, because the audio quality is horrible. I wanted to everybody know who listened to that episode. I think I've learned how to control my breathing now. So anyways, I've been holding off on this talk because I was hoping it wasn't real. But apparently we are, in fact, getting a Highlander reboot.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, I've heard of it as well. And I keep saying, maybe it won't come through. Maybe it won't exist. But yeah, the one good thing I'll say is that it's being directed by Chad Stahelski of John Wick fame. So I'm like, oh, okay, now you got my attention.
So they're going to throw down the swords and just start punching each other.
There probably will be some fisticuffs. Who knows? Yeah, especially when you get into the casts. I'm not really sold on this cast. You know, if you listen to that episode, you'll know that I hold Highlander near and dear to my heart. So Henry Cavill has been cast as Connor McLeod. Russell Crowe will take over the
Zeus. Is he Zeus?
Zeus, yes, he is the. I don't know. So he is the Sean Connery character Juan Sanchez Villalobos.
Oh, please! That means he's going to do an accent.
Yes. Oh, and probably a horrible accent at that. Listen. Connery did not nail any kind of Egyptian accent.
He didn't even try, which no. I think was commendable. Now that I look back on it.
I think when we listened to that episode, we talked about the fact that he worked with a dialogue coach, a dialect coach. It's like, well, that was money wasted. Karen Gillan has currently been cast as Heather, who is McLeod's first wife, and at least she's Scottish. So she doesn't have to worry too much about the accent.
Red hair.
But she doesn't. But she also doesn't last long into the movie, unless they're going to change things up. I think if you're going to do this movie, do something slightly different. But here's my big concern: David Bautista has been cast as the Kurgan.
So Drax is the Kurgan.
Production begins next month in September, so we're getting this whether we want it or not. I'm intrigued by the director, and hopefully he can do the right thing with this, because they probably all locked into a 3-movie deal.
Oh, I can't wait for Highlander 2 if that's the case. Now, okay, Bautista is great in the Guardians movies, and he's been really good in lots of other things I've seen him in, but Clancy Brown played Kurgan like a rock star. He played him with a lot of evil charisma.
Yeah.
And
he's a comic book character.
Batista is, even though he's very funny in the Guardians movies, otherwise he's very understated. So I can't see it until, maybe he'll prove me wrong. But
yeah, I know. Because I think he also, the last couple times I've seen him, he's lost the weight. He doesn't want to do the comedy stuff. He thinks he's a serious actor. And like you said, he's got some gravitas going on, but I think he's a little too full of himself now. And he might try something that just doesn't work. Yeah, the Kurgan. Because Connor plays it straight. He is such a straight character. You need Bautista to go over the edge.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued. Actually, what's funny is when I was watching the DVD commentary, like I said, all for the Goonies, all the cast members are there, and then halfway through, all of a sudden, Sean Astin disappears.
Are they all like together, like a round table?
They're all together at a table. And I will tell you what is really funny. So they had a picture-in-picture for 3/4 of it, and they would zoom back and forth. The problem is that you got 7 people all talking over top of each other, and they're all trying to tell stories, and they're all laughing at each other's jokes, and there's a bunch of in-joke stuff going on. So it's hard to not only listen to what they have to say, but sometimes it interferes with the movie, and they'd cut back and forth. But at one point, one of them just said, "Wow, we're really going to watch this whole thing, huh?" Yeah, that's what DVD commentaries are.
Let me guess. Was that Corey Feldman?
No, Corey was very happy to be there, and this was pre his kind of renaissance.
Was Josh Brolin there?
Brolin was there.
Wow.
Brolin was there. They were all there. Yeah. Jeff Cohen, both girls. So Martha Plimpton and the girl who played Andy, and I'm going to draw a blank on her name, Carrie Green. Come to find out, Martha Plimpton did not like Corey Feldman very much. And the two brothers, the Fratelli brothers, Joe Pantaleone and Robert Davi, hated each other.
Joey Pants, probably because he insists on everybody calling him Joey Pants. If you got to name yourself a nickname, then that's not a nickname.
Yo, just call me Joey Pants.
Robert Davi, an actual opera singer, which is why he breaks into song.
Sure, he breaks into song there at one point. Obviously, we have lost. Anne Ramsey has passed, who played Ma Fratelli.
There was a band called the Fratellis. I can only think that they named themselves after the Goonies.
I would have loved it if they actually dressed up like these characters. And I will say this, the minute that Anne Ramsey shows up on screen, they all not only clapped and cheered, but then just went, oh, she was like the sweetest woman in the world, which is so counter to what you see on any screen. She was very understated. I wish she was in more stuff.
But she had the best line in the movie. Kids suck. Yeah.
They know you're going there. Well, actually, after listening to Dick Donner talk about the filming of this thing, I think that he was agree with you. Yeah. And he even said long before this commentary that he'll never make a sequel. He'd never make a sequel with kids. Nope. Because you couldn't do this with adults now.
Well, you could. It's actually in the works. I wasn't going to mention this until, maybe we will mention it later. Okay. But yeah, a sequel is in the works with Spielberg involved.
I don't want it.
It's going to be the adult actors. It's not going to be kids. It's like It Part 2. And I think Pennywise is going to be in it, actually. So again, I mentioned already, this is Spielberg executive producing.
Yep.
And as you pointed out, Richard Donner is the actual director. This was released in June of 1985, right at the beginning of the summer, pre-Live Aid. So, I always look at the 80s pre-Live Aid, post-Live Aid.
That is funny you do that, because I immediately said, it's a month before Back to the Future dropped.
Oh, okay. So that was another Spielberg. He was busy. He was really busy.
I don't know if you heard, but there is a fan theory that both of these take place on the exact same day.
I don't think that's a theory. I think that's been proven. It's October. If you look at the October
1985, Mouth indicates at some point that it's a Saturday, and then the newspaper that they see the Fratellis escape news article or whatever was dated October 24th, which would put it as a Thursday.
This suggests that there's a Spielberg verse.
Yes.
And during the events of Goonies across the country, Marty McFly is doing his thing as well.
So Saturday, October 25th, 1985, these kids are on their adventure the same day that Marty goes back in time. Yeah. And if that's the case, I'm all on board for that movie.
I think we're getting too far.
Now we're getting too deep, because there is a Gremlins reference as well.
So there's a patently adult scene that opens Goonies. A supposed suicide in a jail cell.
Yeah, played for a joke.
Played for a joke, yes.
Played for a joke.
Because I'm sure that parents, if they hadn't seen the Goonies title come up previous to this, would have thought, am I in the wrong movie?
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't play like dark, though.
So these are the Fratellis. One of the Fratelli brothers is incarcerated, and Mama Fratelli and Joey Pants bust him out of prison at the beginning and easily escape the chasing police.
Yeah, and this is the opening sequence where we're kind of introduced to all the characters.
Which is great. I love this.
It is. Yeah, I agree with you. Chunk's in the arcade eating his pizza and his...
All these characters in some way interact with this police chase, some without even knowing. Chunk is the only one actively watching it. Right. So he's trying to explain to the other Goonies a little bit later what he saw. And of course, nobody wants to listen to him. But the Fratellis come back into this in a big way a little bit later. So yeah, we're introduced to these kids on the other side of the train tracks, in the Goondocks, in Astoria. So the movie is filmed on location in Astoria, Oregon, and that's where the story takes place.
Yes, correct.
So it's not like they name it a different name or a fictional name.
No. Yeah. And it's still there. Like we mentioned, that house is still there overlooking that bluff. Yeah.
Once you know that, it also gives you it gives more gravity to this movie. Sure. I liked it better knowing that, reading that this is an actual neighborhood.
Yeah, that was a real pirate ship hidden away in an alcove there. By the way, they just happened.
It's probably still there because nobody wanted to take it when the movie was done.
No, they destroyed it. Imagine that. That is an unbelievable, huge live action set.
They should have put it right in the bay or right on the beach there. And people again pay to see it. I'm sure they would.
Just like the Popeye Village.
Yep.
Missed opportunity. So so the Fratellis are escaping.
So the Fratellis they shake the police on a beach
road
race.
Rally? Yeah, it was like
and the police just stop. Oh, they're in the race. We can't chase them now.
I hope they don't win. Yeah, correct. So they escape. They mix
and they don't escape far because their hideout is a beachside restaurant that's
that would be the first place I would have looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way we can catch them now. They're going fast. They're in the race.
The only thing between here and the cliff walls is that restaurant. Mm-hmm. And that's been closed for a while, so I don't think they're going to stop there. Yeah, let's keep going. So this is where now all the kids are descending upon Mikey and Brandon's house.
Now, I have to admit, when I saw this in the theater, and I did see this, it wasn't actually at the theater, it was at the drive-in that I saw Goonies. You know how, and this was back in the day when it was just transitioning from the speakers and being on your radio.
Instead of radio, yeah.
But there were still those speakers there. If you go to a drive-in these days, if you can find one, you're not going to get the speakers anymore that go on your window. You're just going to listen in on the radio. But back in those days, you did have the speaker. So even if you could have that option of listening on the radio, you wanted the drive-in experience of the speaker.
The mono speaker.
The mono speaker. So I have to say, as a 14-year-old, watching Goonies for the first time, I remember being very irritated because I couldn't understand what anybody was saying, especially in this first scene. They're all shouting at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, the commentary, they still to this day talk over each other. But I think that's, even go back to like E.T. or Close Encounters, like that's one of Spielberg's speaking. Everyone's kind of talking over each other. That's what kids do. And especially this sequence, they're all piling on each other and they're all screaming, they're all yelling. But yeah, that's got to be frustrating, especially toward the end, because Mouth literally had a mouthful of marbles.
Donner's probably just like, don't even say action, just start filming them. They already started, yeah.
Yeah, you wonder how much of this, because there's a lot of pratfalls with Chunk. He's knocking things over, he's friggin'...
Yeah, there's a lot of nice gags in between the shouting here with the statue and the little dong on the statue.
But it establishes their personalities right up front. Corey Feldman just combs his hair throughout this entire movie. That's all he does. That is his character. Just combs his hair and hits and talks wise to the girls.
Well, he's getting ready for Lost Boys. That's why he's got to comb his hair so much.
Oh, that's true. He was a frog brother.
He's growing that mullet. He speaks Spanish and he's translating. Yeah.
They're being forced to move. They're going to have to foreclose on their house. So is this all of them?
I didn't get that as well because they were focusing on Mikey and Brandon, his big brother, which is Sean Astin and Josh Brolin.
Brolin, yeah.
We know that their house is in trouble, definitely. It's what's ambiguous is if the other kids have to move away. And if you look at the deleted scene, they're all saying that they're moving to various places.
Yeah, because there's an alternate ending there, which I was not aware of. Where you're right, they're all packing up the house. The house was full of crap. There's no way they're moving out. Foreclosure, you're just leaving that shit and walking away.
But in the movie as it plays now, without that deleted scene, it gives the impression that it's only Mikey and Brand that are moving.
And then we find out, so Dad works at the historical museum, which is
you only meet this guy in passing at best.
Yeah, because you're like, well, why can't he pay his bills?
Yeah, it would have been almost better for the story if he was dead. Because that's about as important as his character is in the story.
Yeah. No, like you said, you know, the kids are racing on their bikes and they pass the historical museum and he's pulling the flag down and you don't see him again until the end of the movie.
I'm like, what is this guy? Is this guy actually dead and that's a ghost that they're waving to?
Oh, I miss your dad.
That's why he can't pay the bills.
Yeah. Well, because I was wondering, watching this again, and they're all finding, when they get up into the attic scene, and they're finding all these pirate costumes. I'm like, why would they just have pirate costumes laying around in the attic? But it makes a little more sense that he's a historian, so he probably collected this stuff or whatnot. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe Mrs. Walsh is into this plunder me booty kind of fetish.
There's prints all over Mikey's bedroom wall. Because this was filmed in '84, which was the year of Purple Rain. But also, Prince and Purple Rain are Warner Brothers. Prince was a Warner Brothers artist.
Then Mouth is a walking billboard because he's wearing a Purple Rain t-shirt. Yes. And then Data. We got Data with 007.
Who arrives, he arrives via zip line. Yeah.
So that's another kind of deep cut because Spielberg always wanted to film a 007 movie. And
he breaks their screen door, which is like probably between $50 and $100 to replace. But Mom's like, oh, the door's broken again. Yeah, you can't afford the mortgage because you're always fixing broken windows.
We can hire some Spanish lady off the street to come help me pack.
Yeah.
You got all these kids with a boundless energy. Just here's a box, start putting stuff into it. No, let's hire that Spanish lady.
Mom knows better that's not going to happen. And then they have that elaborate mousetrap device to open the gate. I'm like, who has to reset that every time?
Yeah, those are fun though. That's like right out of Pee-wee's Big Adventure kind of stuff. And it's funny because it plays in even later with the all the booby traps that they deal with One-Eyed Willie's treasure, which we're going to get to because a lot of those don't make any sense.
What's in the attic are the rejects from a town retrospective that didn't go in the museum for one reason or whatever.
So the museum itself doesn't have an attic?
No, I guess not.
No wonder why he's poor. He's like, just bring it home, put it in my house.
So they find the map, One-Eyed Willie's map.
How did that not make the retrospective?
Well, I think it was hidden, right? And Chunk broke the frame, and that's how they pulled the map out.
Again, not even cleaning up the glass. You just left shattered glass all over the attic. But this is, we get quite the little spiel out of Sean Astin's mouth here.
He's given this speech like he's looking at the dinosaurs on Jurassic Park for the first time, like staring into space. He goes into a trance.
So obviously, his dad has filled his head with these stories of this vast treasure that, Chester Copperpot, who lived here at one point and was looking for this treasure, this One-Eyed Willie's treasure. They don't care. Those kids don't care. Brand's talking them out of it. You believe that crap too?
So what was the story? The British Army chased Willie and his men into a cave, blew up the cave, and trapped them all in to die. But the legend is that Willie killed all of his own men and made this elaborate treasure map and hid his treasure.
So the ship is trapped. The only way that you're making any of these booby traps is from the ship outwards. So then whoever made them would have escaped? No.
Well, they do say that there was one person that got out and hence
because then the joke map was, well, how do we know about this story if everyone died?
Yeah. That's
always every legend.
Yep.
But it didn't make sense.
The other thing that doesn't really pan out is Mike's asthma. It's meant he does suck on the inhaler numerous times in the movie, but I was thinking to myself, he's going to be close to death at some point, right? Because they've really made this a plot point, but that never happens.
No, it's not like in Signs where it actually he stops breathing and the alien he doesn't suck in the alien poison. Mm-hmm. So I do like the point when they were up in the attic. And Mouth goes out of his way to cut a hole into the painting and stick his tongue through it. There's actually a couple tongue jokes in here throughout this whole movie.
But I was like, how much is that worth? And he just ripped it. But he does say it was already ripped.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right at the mouth. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Speaking to that point, can we just point out later on, they find Chester Copperpot and they find a Lou Gehrig baseball card on him. That thing's like a $200,000 baseball card. You could have just stopped right then and there, gone home, sold that.
So the plan is they keep calling the treasure the rich stuff, right? It's like the gray stuff in Beauty and the Beast, but it's the rich stuff in the Goonies. So if they find the rich stuff, then they won't have to move. But as we know from the deleted scene, all these plans are already in motion.
Sorry, kids.
Sorry, we're still moving. Thanks for the money. I'll need this. And then we get the pop star tie-in. You always had to have a hit single.
Okay, let's talk about this This is right up your alley.
The video is, I think, where we're going.
Yes, which is on the DVD.
Goonies Are Good Enough was the name of the song.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the end of that early Cyndi Lauper era where she had the shaved head on one side and the red hair.
Wait, what else did she do after that?
She did True Colors. She had a big album after.
Oh no, she had a huge album, but she always had red hair. Yes.
No. I think she went blonde after this.
Gotcha.
She wasn't. She didn't look like the Cyndi Lauper of old. No. She, kind of matured after.
She grew up. Is that what happened? Okay.
But this was deep in the heart of her WWF wrestling days as well. So in the video. It was actually a 2-part video.
It's like a 12-minute video.
Yeah. Although
broken up into 2 parts.
I remember when they first showed the video on MTV, they premiered part 1, and then 2 weeks later, they premiered part 2.
Oh, that's insane.
So part 1 went into heavy rotation.
Commercial break, not 2 weeks.
So part 1 went into heavy rotation. So you saw that over and over and over again, wondering how it was going to end.
Because it ends with her on that log bridge and the water. Why this water suddenly surges as soon as you're on that bridge, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because there's that voiceover. What's going to happen to Cyndi? Tune in next week for 2.
And then you've got Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Rowdy Piper, Andre the Giant is in there.
He's got a nice little cameo. So watching this, though, I'm like, boy, if I was just a couple years younger, I would have been so into the WWF.
And I was.
They're just cartoon characters beating the crap out of each other. Yep. But I was just at an age where I just thought it was ridiculous. But watching this video, like everything about it is just silly. Yeah. And they've all got, who is the wrestler, the USSR?
That Nikolai Volkov. He's milking the cow in the back of the truck. And it also has Wendy Richter, who is the female wrestler that Cyndi Lauper, quote unquote, managed at WrestleMania.
Oh, so Captain Lou Albano shows up on the scene, and all these guys got a shtick. And he's like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to staple a rubber band to my face. That's it.
No. He pinned it to his face. He didn't staple it to his face. He had a safety pin.
Safety pin.
The song itself is so tied to the 80s for me.
Yes.
It's one of the few songs that will bring back that era within a snap, because it wasn't a huge hit. So it wasn't really overplayed on the radio. So when you hear it these days, it's like a novelty to hear it again. Yeah.
And even Spielberg has a cameo in this. Put him in the video. Like she even screams, "Help me, Spielberg." And then he cuts to him and he's like, I don't know what to do for you. I'm like, yeah, we don't know either. I did catch that the Bangles were dressed as pirates at the end.
And I think this was, it was before Manic Monday. So nobody would have known who the Bangles were.
Susanna Hoff in a friggin' pirate costume. Oh, I'm going to need a minute. Hold on. Okay. All right, we're ready. So this is fun because the full video is on the DVD. And it does look like crap. It is not cleaned up in any way, shape, or form, but it was fun to watch this again. And you're right. It just, it shows up on the TV and it ties in. And the big talking point about this whole video is that it has clips of the octopus, which has been cut from the movie altogether, except for the one line that Data throws out at the end.
Which I don't understand why they bothered to keep it, unless that was a huge oversight.
It probably was because they were filming on the beach. And I don't know. I mean, do you just leave it in and hope nobody notices? Because again, all the kids are yelling over each other. So do you pick up on it? Do you not pick up on it? Do you just think it's a kid's act of imagination?
Or you just hope the legend grows over the octopus?
Well, that's exactly what happened. And boy, does it not pay off, because that deleted scene is on this DVD as well. And I'm like, that's it? That's what we've been talking about all these years?
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's
tough. It's a tough scene.
It looks like an animatronic from Spirit Halloween.
I mean, I think because the shtick is that it's grabbing Martha Plimpton and she thinks it's mouth, but she's almost like taking the tentacle and wrapping it around her own waist.
But Popeye did it so well. Just 4 years earlier.
4 years, and so what happens? Data shoves his cassette tape player, his Walkman, into its beak, and it starts moonwalking backwards. Like, what is going on? Oh, it's so glad. that this was cut from the movie.
The kids, they figure out they have to get this treasure in order to save their houses. So they tie up Brand, Josh Brolin, because he's not down with this.
Yeah, I mean, full on bondage, just taking his stupid... Yeah, because all he's doing is working out throughout this whole sequence. Yeah.
So, and then they cut the tires on his bike. So when he does get out, he's got to steal the little girl's next door her bike. And then this is the famous scene. This is one of the scenes that stuck with me, where he's just on the side of the road, and then the jerk Troy comes pulling up next to him, grabs him, and almost kills him.
Yeah, no, this is ridiculous. I mean, 60 miles an hour down the road on a little kid's bike. Training wheels are ripping off, the smoke's billowing.
Yeah.
But this is also, there's another cutscene that takes place here where Troy, Andy, and Steph encounter the boys in a convenience store. And
yes, because you're apparently introduced to this character of Troy before the car scene.
Yeah, and he's a jerk to all of them. What's he doing on that side of town? I have no idea. But that's also why the map is burned, because he tries to burn the map as a big doobie. And
where they need to go is right around this abandoned restaurant where the Fratellis have holed up. So there's
convenient.
Yeah, so there's this cat and mouse scene where they go in, they don't know the Fratellis are there, and then they pretend they're just there to get a drink of water, and the Fratellis pretend that they own the restaurant.
You boys like tongue?
Yep.
Like another tongue joke. Here we go.
So what the Fratellis are actually doing is counterfeiting, right? They have no idea that there's a treasure here. They're not there for that.
because Sloth is in the basement, so it makes you think that they've been there for a while. Like this is like their base of operations.
Yeah.
So I guess the cops never found the tire tracks, never went up there, never thought to look at the abandoned restaurant. They escape, they break the one brother out of jail, and then just go right back to their stronghold. Yep. But it looks like they're just Xeroxing the money. It's not an elaborate counterfeiting scheme.
No, it's probably
smart enough.
Probably just one of the many things that they attempt to do. And they find out from the kids that there's like some kind of treasure underneath them. Chunk gets separated from the rest of the gang, and then he meets Sloth. And at some point he gets locked in, and this is really funny. He gets locked in the cooler with the dead body because he goes for the ice cream.
I'm stuck in here with the stiff, guys. So that actor is the same guy in Jaws that gets his leg bitten off in the harbor.
Really?
Yeah, I guess he's a very well-known stunt actor. Ted Grossman. Can you play dead? I'm always fascinated with people who can play dead people.
I think that the dead guy was laughing a little bit at Chunk because I saw a smile on his face.
How could you not? But this is so there's a scene, and they point it out, and Sean Astin goes out of his way to point this out. When the boys go down underneath the fireplace later, and they get into an argument, he calls Bran by his real name. He calls him Josh.
Does he?
So that's also in the movie. And they didn't believe him until the scene came up, and they were like, holy crap. Yep, you did. Yeah. So this is all shtick, and it's fun because the Fratellis are not messing around. I mean, later on, they're trying to put Chunk's hand in a friggin' blender. I'm like, talk about your Gremlins tie-in.
And before they find the body, the skeleton of Chester Copperpot, but before they do, they find this intricate room of pipes, and they're banging on the pipes to try to get help. And when they're doing this, they're causing havoc up above them.
Yeah.
And there's a deleted scene with two gorillas driving.
Yeah, I'm so glad I never even knew this existed. This is crazy. So the gorillas escape from the zoo because of the pipe antics, and then they steal Troy's car and drive it around until they wreck it. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What movie am I watching here? So yeah, that's pretty wild. The one thing I will say is that watching this now, and especially because he's kind of come back out, Kehuyquan, like he's really just doing a Elmer Fudd impersonation here. Booty traps. And at one point, they actually tried to get him to recreate one of the lines of dialogue, and he had to work at it to get that stupid cadence.
But are they trying, just like Chunk and the fat jokes, are they trying to make fun of him because of the character's dialect? There are some
stereotypes going on here.
Yeah.
Brand's the dumb, jock. Mikey's the nerd. Mikey's the nerd who just, has to have the inhaler because he can't probably breathe on his own. But listen, whatever. They all of this borders on very cartoonish. Have you ever checked out the side by side that Nedry from Jurassic Park is basically cosplaying as these characters? If you look at all three of his costumes in Jurassic Park, it mimics. At one point, he's wearing the yellow rain jacket that Mikey wears. He's got the floral shirt that matches Chunk, and he has another shirt that looks very similar to the jacket, the members only jacket that Mouth wears.
I would have had no idea. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's no way in hell that is just coincidence. So Spielberg supposedly was on set and had filmed a couple of these sequences, including that underwater pipe scene sequence.
Yeah.
And that was the day Michael Jackson came on set.
Oh, really?
So of course, Corey Feldman he was thrilled. Now all he does is imitate Michael Jackson. If you ever see him on tour, he's out there touring, singing. He is just a Michael Jackson impersonator now.
We get after the pipes and copper pot, and they get the skeleton key off a copper pot. They find what they think is the treasure, but it's just the bottom of the wishing well. So Mikey has his big speech. Yeah. At the bottom of the wishing well. It's like, it's their time up there. Their time.
Yeah,
down here. It's our time down here. Down here, it's overtime.
Yeah, this is where you get the famous, Andy, you Goonies. Yep. So it's a good speech. It's the parents are irrelevant. It's us, the kids. The kids need to save everybody.
Simultaneously, as this is going on, Chunk is making friends with Sloth.
And this is John Matuzak, who was a football player from the Oakland Raiders. And he does at one point early on have a Raiders t-shirt on. Did he change into the Superman shirt before they left?
He must have.
I know. I wear Superman. So it's a great scene with the baby Ruth.
Yeah, and again, Superman, a Warner Brothers movie, so they probably had the rights to use the emblem.
And it's fantastic because, this guy is encased in makeup and half of his face is falling off.
He looks like Jason Voorhees.
Oh, yeah. Just put a hockey mask on him. You would have been good to go. But so he actually had the time because obviously you have a motion controlled animator offset with the remote control blinking the one eye, and he would have to time it. They would go 1, 2, 3, and he would blink, so they would blink at the same time. That thing had to have been a night. Talk about one-eyed Willie. This guy's got peripheral vision at best in one eye. Do you think One-Eye Willie was a bad pirate because he just traveled in circles? He only had one eye. He had no depth perception.
Or did they name him that because he was very well endowed?
No, they never showed that part of it.
Maybe he had 2 eyes. Who knows?
Wow. If that's the case, I'm leaving this treasure right there. You can have it, sir. That's fine. But this is where we get the great scene where they're torturing Chunk to tell them where his friends are. And he goes, they're in the fireplace. Stop lying to us, kid. Tell us everything. And then he just unloads. And the puking story in the theater, I'm watching this on TV, and I can just recite it. And then there was a time in 6th grade, I took some corn soup and I put it in the bag, and I went to the movie. And it's just, I'm laughing my ass off. And supposedly that is a Spielberg story.
Supposedly, yeah, that is something that Spielberg did himself.
and I dumped it over, but I was making this. And now, Joey Pants is like, I like this kid. Oh, no, that was Davi.
No, that was Davi. And enough can't be said about Jeff Cohen, I think, and his performance as Chunk.
Yeah.
And the fact that he never did another movie is sad.
Well, he said when he was crying, he was thinking about his mom dying or his grandma dying.
His mom,
I'm like, damn, that's deep, kid.
Yeah.
These kids who have to friggin' come up with this emotion.
And at some point, Chunk is able to call the police. They don't believe him because he said, is this like the time that you called in about those creatures that multiply when you throw water on them?
Throw water on them, yeah. So the police officer refers to him as Lawrence. And so they all have real names, even though they're not really mentioned. The funny one for me, Data's real name is Richard Wang, and Mouth's real name is Clark Devereaux. And even Sloth, they call him Sloth, but his name is Lotney Fratelli.
Lotney.
Lotney. I think Sloth is better. I'd be mad at my mom just for that name.
Mike kisses Andy by accident.
Mikey, yeah. Yeah, Carrie Green says she was in therapy over that because I think she was 16 or 17 at the time and Mikey was like 14.
Yeah. But she had no problems kissing Josh Brolin.
No. Matter of fact, she was like, I'd do it again. They were like, ooh.
Now, speaking of Andy, it gets to the part where she's got to play the skeleton organ. And the floor is coming out whenever she hits the wrong note.
This is a fantastic action sequence. This right here is, not only is this set piece gorgeous, but it has a great payoff where they all end up in the slides. Yeah, no, this is fantastic.
And she keeps hitting the wrong note because, of course, you want to establish the danger of the floor giving way. It's like, I'm not Liberace, you know.
I know. There's a couple, yeah. And Mikey even says, Goonies, that's okay. Goonies always make mistakes. Just don't make another one.
They find the grotto.
Yeah, and this is where they come up in the big pirate ship reveal, which is just unbelievable. I mean, when you realize this is a fully built set of the ship, only at the end when the rocks are falling are they're animated. Like they actually had explosions in the water, and then they just animated a rock to make it look like it was falling. Otherwise, this is all a practical set. And the big thing was that it was a separate sound stage that they tried to keep the kids away from so that they could actually have a genuine reaction to it when you said, action, turn around. But they all pretty much revealed that they had snuck onto the set and saw it beforehand. But Josh Brolin claims he did not. And so when he turned around, he uttered the F word and they had to refilm it. What did you expect from a 16-year-old?
The story is that they offered this pirate ship to anybody who was willing to take it at the conclusion of filming.
And nobody wanted it.
But, who's going to have room? Yeah.
Where are you going to put it? You'd have to dismantle the whole thing. It was on a soundstage.
Yeah.
So you'd have to dismantle it. But yeah, so it was revealed that a lot of the balloons and all that stuff are actually part of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride now.
Really?
Yeah. You want to know something even crazier? The original coin, the balloon that they use with the key with the holes in it, the skeleton head, that sold in 2018 for $42,000 at a prop store auction.
For how much?
$42,000. That actually seems like a bargain. A screen used prop like that. Yeah, but nobody wanted it.
Probably because One-Eyed Willie's still in there, pants down.
Dick Donner does have in his office. He did have the One-Eyed Willie's head, and I guess there was a model of the ship in his office. A concession for Dick Donner, right? Yeah. They do find Willie. They find his cabin. And this is, again, a pretty elaborate scene. I mean, just the set design of this is fantastic. And there's one final booby trap, but Mikey's smart enough. Nope, that's Willie's. Leave that be. But later when the Fratellis take it and it unleashes the booby trap, all it does is lift the anchor. What was the booby? What was the booby in the trap? It sets the ship in motion, right? It's not going anywhere. Why is that? Why is that like a... I don't know. It didn't explode. It didn't set off powder kegs or anything. No. And my biggest complaint is you see the ship leave at the end and they're like, oh, bye, Willie. And I'm like, take a schooner out there. That thing's full of gold. What are you doing? Oh, bye, Willie. Guess we got to leave. It's like, no, there's gold under. What are you doing? Get a helicopter. Get something. So when they find Willie's cabin, yes. Mike connects with them, says, you're the first Goonie, Willie. Yeah. But apparently they shot each other up, Willie and his crew, like Reservoir Dogs style. They all shot at once and they killed each other, I guess is what happened. I guess we're trapped here now. But again, so we're all trapped here. You're digging these tunnels just to booby trap it. Couldn't you just dug the tunnels and drag some of the treasure out? Yes. It didn't. Okay. I mean, they only collapsed the wall. That was the easiest way out. It didn't take much for Data's dynamite to blow it up and drop everything. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. You dig too deep on some of this stuff, but Sloth has to come save them because they're making them all walk the plank at this point. The Fratellis are making the kids walk the plank. They did go out of the way to point out that when he swings down and grabs them off the plank, they're dummies that he's grabbing. They're not the real Yeah.
But we get the infamous, "Hey, you guys." Now, kids of a certain age are obviously going to think of Electric Company when they see this.
Oh, that's true.
The Goonies only refer to each other as guys. Like, hey, guys, listen to this. Hey, guys, look at this.
Yeah.
So is it an Electric Company reference or not? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. That's a good question. Because in another one of the deleted scenes, when Chunk and Sloth escape, you do see Chunk in the tunnels or whatever, and he's screaming, "Hey, you guys." And then Sloth echoes it. So he's like, oh, he picked up on this but he was watching Captain Blood. He was watching Errol Flynn's movie. How do you get cable down there, by the way?
Yeah. And let me guess, I'm sure Captain Blood is a Warner Brothers movie.
Listen, it all works out, baby.
Yeah. Because they play the Superman theme at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's wearing a shirt. Yeah.
Mama almost, gets her mitts into Sloth.
Oh, Sloth.
Yeah.
Ma drop. I only dropped you once. All it takes.
And he feels his deformed face. You dropped me. Yeah.
You dropped me.
What did she drop him on? The edge of a table?
I don't know, but you think that you could have at least gone and had that looked at. Nah, you know what? It's put him in the and put him in the basement. But this is where the octopus scene takes place. Yeah. When they all leave the ship. And then the octopus, it would have slowed it down tremendously, the sequence.
As we said, it did not look convincing.
No. Tentacles actually look better. Tentacles, I think they actually used a real octopus for certain scenes.
Yeah, I think it was dead, but at least it was
Yeah, we'll get to there because there's some fun stories about that stupid octopus.
But the Goonies get out of the grotto, the ship sails, and the police show up, and I think the first cop says, "It's them goobers."
That was the one. There was two police officers on the ATVs. One of them is Richard Donner.
But all the parents are there. They're all there to hug their kids.
Yeah, this was the day they were allowed to bring their family on set. So a lot of the background people are the kids' real family. Brandon and Andy kiss, and the mom's like, let her mom worry about it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty dismissive.
Mouth and Martha Plimpton kiss as well.
Yeah, that was supposedly that was not pleasant for Martha in any way, shape, or form. She still talks about it.
And Chunk offers, without asking his parents, Sloth to come live with him.
Yeah, and that's where I was confused. I'm like, well, wait, if you need to leave the house, you're being foreclosed and forced to leave. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got another mouth to feed. You're going to come and live with us?
They should have shown the parents behind him. Excuse me?
Excuse me? Not that thing. Yeah, I would have questioned, where did this guy come from?
So it's Rosalita that actually saves the day because the pirate ship goes off with all the rich stuff. But we had forgotten about the little bag of marbles that Mikey emptied and filled up with some jewels. Yeah. So I would have loved it if Rosalita found it and just secretly walked away.
Especially after the way Mouth talked to her. She'd be like, screw this family. Yeah. But again, you got this giant pirate ship full of gold, full of treasure. It's right there on the horizon. It's right there. Worst case, it's going to sink.
I know this is a beachside community. Everybody has a boat, I'm sure.
Yeah. So the sequel, maybe they just go look for it. It's just like the Flying Dutchman. It's just out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Bring in Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. That'd be fun.
It's a ghost ship on the ocean.
Yeah, sure. To return to One-Eyed Willie. The One-Eyed Willie's brother. He's missing the other eye. And this guy just shows up on the beach with the foreclosure papers. The guy really is a piece of crap.
Like he knew that the kids were going to be there?
Right. Like they all just converged there. Okay.
But as you said, it is very clean. It wraps it up within 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the paper getting ripped up. No sign.
And then you get the infamous octopus line. Good. But I was looking at it, and he says that line cleanly. They could have easily excised. It's not like there's people talking over him as he's saying it. They could have easily taken it out.
If you wonder if it's just we'll just leave it in there, and maybe people think there was extra stuff that they didn't get to see. So, but it's out there. I was surprised because this is lived in lore for quite some time.
Yeah, and for a while, I was thinking, before I actually knew that it was filmed, I was thinking, oh, it's probably something in the script that
sure,
they never even
storyboards,
filmed.
Yeah, no, that was filmed. It was actually created.
So the Goonies cost $19 million to make, which seems
cheap.
Incredible.
That is super cheap. I bet you that ship was probably $1 million.
It made $68 million in the U.S., so not a huge E.T. level, Raiders level hit, but it made its money back. It made about $125 million worldwide. So I think it probably, like so many movies, found a bigger audience over the ensuing years on DVD and home video.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it. I did not see this in the theater. I remember my friend Carolyn Ball coming back, I don't know, over the summer or something, and she's like, you have to go see it. This is right up your alley. And I'm like, how dare you tell me what my taste is? But she was right. She was right.
As I mentioned before, as of February of this year, a sequel has been confirmed with Spielberg and Columbus working on a story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I did see June 7th for the 25th anniversary back in 2010. Astoria declared it Goonies Day. It took 25 years to make a Goonies Day.
I guess
I'm assuming so. June 7th was when it was released. You said it was.
Yeah, June 7th was Goonies Day. Right. Still is, I'm sure. As you said, Donner found the kids very unruly on set.
Sure.
Sean Astin says in his book that Donner and Spielberg were sort of co-directing the movie because Spielberg was basically there every day.
Yeah. Is he micromanaging? Did he not
I guess he
Dick?
Was. I guess he was. And as we said, a lot of the neighborhood scenes were filmed on location in Astoria. The beach scene was Cannon Beach, which is 26 miles away, so not really a distance that you'd want to bike like they do in the movie.
No, but you could go there in one day and see the sights.
The final scene, when everybody's on the beach, was filmed not in Oregon, but Goat Rock State Beach in California.
Yeah. I also, I don't know if it was in his book, but Sean Astin said that years later, he got to keep the treasure map, and his mom was cleaning out his room and thought it was garbage and threw it away. So Patty Duke threw it away.
That's happened to all of us at some point, not with the Goonies map, but with something.
No, I know. Mom, where are all my Star Wars figures? Where's my box of comic books?
Oh, you don't need that. I
gave that to the neighbor. You don't need that. You're a grown adult now. Are you kidding me? But the Goonies map, Mom. It was a Goonies map.
So we know, due to the Cyndi Lauper song, that a soundtrack was released, but it was all the songs that were heard in the movie. It wasn't a score.
It wasn't a score.
The Goonies score was not released until 2010. You were never able to get it until 2010.
What? Until the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Now, was that Williams? Not John Williams.
Let me see. Dave Grusin.
No wonder.
Dave Grusin.
No wonder why it wasn't released. I don't know who he is.
He also did 3 Days of the Condor, Tootsie, The Firm. The Goonies is what we would know him for.
Okay.
As you said before, the Walsh home, the actual house, closed its doors to tourists in 2015. The neighbors closed the street to tours because I guess there were bus tours that went through or maybe walking tours.
If you go to Hollywood, you can go Home of the Stars.
So in order to access this thing, you had to sneak there, I think, in the middle of the night to even get a picture on the house.
Be a real Goonie, huh?
Yeah.
Did they set up booby traps?
I would hope so.
Booty traps. The booty traps.
But yeah, the Goonies, again, it's one of those things where now that we've talked about it, it's kind of sad.
It is, but it was fun to rewatch it again.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that's it. And so we are officially putting this in the 5 bucket, are we not?
Yeah, this was going to be a 5 bucket always, so I think that's still the plan.
I think that is exactly where it needs to sit.
Have you ever watched this on TV outside of HBO?
Oh, I'm sure it showed up, and
because according to some sources, you know how the practice of putting deleted scenes back in movies, the convenience store and the octopus was reinserted.
I did read that, but I've never seen it on regular TV.
Yeah,
not with those scenes intact.
Yeah,
I think it's perfect the way it is. Nice and lean. Get these kids on an adventure. Boom. It's fun. I mean, for the most part, the Fratellis are running around threatening little kids and shooting up cops and stuff, but otherwise they're pretty innocuous.
So are you going to do the honors for us here?
I would like you to do the honors.
Me to do the honors?
Let's do the honors, baby.
All right. I would like to induct officially Goonies into our 5-bucket list club. There you go.
There you go. Perfect.
All right. So let's leave the Goonies.
Okay.
And we're not going to leave it too far behind, though, because the concession treat is it was an obvious choice when seeing Goonies.
We've never covered this. We've never
covered this.
Really?
We've never covered this.
I assumed that we had covered it, and you're going to go with Goobers.
No.
Goobers and Goonies. No.
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
We almost got there because you covered the Reggie bar once.
Okay. Yes.
And you were teasing it, saying it's a baseball-related candy bar.
Obscure. Yeah. The Reggie bar.
But no, we've never done Baby Ruth. We're going to do it today, so here we go.
Fantastic.
Baby Ruth. Now, I always like to sample whatever it is that I'm going to talk about.
Oh, boy.
I couldn't find this thing.
What? Really?
This is a very, not very scarce. It wasn't as hard as finding the Fifth Avenue bar. Didn't have it at my local grocery store, first of all. Didn't have it at my local drugstore. I had to go the next town over to one of the large gas station convenient marts that I knew had a huge candy selection. And I finally found an individual Baby Ruth bar. It's sold as a 2-piece share pack, so kind of like a Twix where you've got 2 pieces.
Not just one big
together.
bar anymore.
They don't come side by side. It's just one long. It looks like a big bar if you pick up the package, but it's got 2 inside.
Just space in between.
So the Baby Ruth itself is dry roasted peanuts, rich caramel, and smooth nougat covered in milk chocolate. So you think to yourself, okay, these are all the same ingredients of your Snickers bar, but it is a completely different taste experience.
Is it like a deconstructed Snickers bar?
There's a lot more nougat in the Baby Ruth than there is. It's like a core of nougat. So if you were to cut this thing in half, it'd be like a round core of just nougat in the middle. So you're getting a much more like Three Musketeers-y kind of experience with the Baby Ruth. And plus, on the outer rim are full peanuts. It's not just peanut pieces. It's full peanuts.
No.
So simultaneously, you're getting more peanut and you're getting more nougat. So it is, I think, a bit of a more tasty treat than the Snickers bar. That might be controversial to some. But I do prefer the Baby Ruth. I always go right for them because you do see them a lot in Halloween multi-packs.
Yes, correct. Yeah, the little mini ones.
I always go right for the Baby Ruths and my son, because I know he doesn't like peanut candy. So I always go right for them and steal them out of his bag.
I'll take those, son.
Yeah. But, history-wise, Baby Ruth is not named after Babe Ruth.
What? You're blowing my mind right now.
It blew my mind reading this. This may or may not be true. We'll get into it.
Okay.
Grover Cleveland was the 22nd and 24th president of the United States. And he served, let's see, from 1885 to 1889, and then from 1893 to 1897. So at the close of the 1800s, Cleveland was in power as president of the United States. His daughter was named Ruth. And she was, just like your Chelsea Clinton or Billy Carter or any relative of your president, was a celebrity in her own right. And in popular culture was known as Baby Ruth.
Jeez.
So when the Baby Ruth was introduced in 1920, that was the official explanation as to who it was named after. Now, coincidentally, or not, the early 1920s is when Babe Ruth was coming into prominence. So the popular school of thought is that the Baby Ruth was in fact named after Babe Ruth, but in order to not pay him royalties, they said it wasn't. And so they did have this legitimate Baby Ruth in history, even though I think that she had passed away by this time in the night. By the time the Baby Ruth had come out.
A better way to memorialize it than with a candy bar.
So this was put out by the Curtis Candy Company in 1920. Originally known as the Candy Cake, with K's, not C's. So if you think about it, that's probably not the best ad campaign when you've got 3 K's in your candy name.
Well, wait a minute, because they're going to employ the same thing later this year. I think they're releasing the Ivanka cake. 3 K's.
So the Curtis Company initially made this as a candy cake and then renamed it as the Baby Ruth in 1920. This thing is so tied to baseball, though, over the years, that it's almost impossible to think that they would have named it after anyone but Babe Ruth. The Curtis Candy headquarters is on the same street as Wrigley Field in Chicago, first of all.
Yeah, there's way too many coincidences.
Yeah.
This is like Occam's razor.
Ruth Cleveland, who it was named after, who they say it was named after, died in 1904, and this thing didn't come out until 1920. So she was off the public radar for quite some time. Curtis actually shut down a rival candy bar named after Babe Ruth, saying the names were too similar.
But did they come first?
They came before that candy bar. They didn't come before Babe Ruth. But their argument was that the other candy was too similar in name to the Baby Ruth. I think they were just trying to call it the Babe Ruth. Yeah.
B-A-B-E period Ruth. Was his middle name Aaron.
In 1923, the further ties to baseball. In 1923, 3 years after the introduction of the bar, Otto, let me see what his last name was. Otto Octavius? No. Otto Schneering, who was the founder of the Curtis Candy Company, he dropped thousands of Baby Ruth bars, with each of them having their own little parachute, over Pittsburgh as a promotional ploy. So he just chartered a plane, flew it over Pittsburgh, and just dropped bars randomly over the city.
So Babe Ruth bombs and just throwing them out?
Yep. It's hard to argue that it was not tied to baseball or Babe
Sounds
Ruth.
like they went pretty hard on trying to convince you that it wasn't.
As a matter of fact, further evidence, in 1932, the Curtis Candy Company installed a billboard near the spot where Babe landed a home run. I assume an out-of-the-park home run.
Right.
And that sign for Baby Ruth stood for 4 decades after 1932.
It said not associated with the ball at this point.
In 1995, concessions were finally made. The likeness for Babe Ruth himself was licensed for the Baby Ruth ad campaign.
What? So they finally just caved in and said, yeah,
they finally probably
are owning
up.
This whole time. No, it's really him.
And
it's like, well, now I don't want your candy.
In 2007, it was officially the candy bar of Major League Baseball. So it is so tied to baseball. There's no point of you arguing it anymore.
Well, to me, it's forever tied to Goonies.
Yeah. So the Curtis Candy Company was bought by Nabisco in 1981. Nabisco sold the Curtis line to Nestle in 1990.
Okay.
And we all know who bought Nestle in 2018. Ferraro.
Wow, Ferraro.
So they are the current owners of the Baby Ruth. But back in 1985, when Goonies was in production, Nabisco owned it. Nabisco paid $100,000 for the product placement in Goonies.
Well, listen, they saw what happened with Reese's Pieces 3 years prior.
Yep.
And they're like, we're not pulling in M&Ms on this one, man. We got to get all in.
Although I couldn't tell you if sales went through the roof on Baby Ruths because of Goonies or not, but
I did read they were talking about the fact that at the end of the movie when they're on the beach, there's a Domino's pizza box, and I guess Domino's was not a big name then, so they must have paid for product placement.
They must have, yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay to have our pizza box show up.
And there was a famous commercial that I had to watch, but I don't remember it myself being on TV in 2007. After it was named the official bar of Major League Baseball, The commercial shows a stadium full of people eating a Baby Ruth, and because they're eating, they have to hum "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Do you remember seeing this commercial?
Because their teeth are all stuck together. Yeah. No, because I didn't watch baseball.
There's a couple other alternate products out there. Nestle still has a Baby Ruth ice cream bar, which is kind of like the candy, where it's got nougat as its core and peanuts and caramel. There's Baby Ruth crisps, which are kind of like cookie type things covered in chocolate. And of course, I think the most famous movie placement of Baby Ruth is not in Goonies.
Going with Caddyshack?
We're going with Caddyshack.
Okay.
It was a Baby Ruth that was dropped into the pool.
Maybe that's why sales plummeted. They had to rebound. They had to rebound from that one.
But that is one of the most iconic comic scenes when Bill Murray picks up that thing, smells it. He's like, it's okay.
It's okay. Well, just that whole scene is a spoof on Jaws anyway, so
yeah.
Brilliant. Spielberg's like, we're going to reclaim that Baby Ruth name.
Yeah, so there you go, Baby Ruth.
Hey, there you go.
All right, so let's go back to the theater. Are we taking a trip to Italy for this, to go see this movie?
Yeah, apparently this, in Italian, it's Tentacoli, which just sounds like a real creamy pasta dish. But Tentacles.
Tentacles.
Yeah.
So
you're only one letter away from testicles. It's like, but I don't want to see that
I'm
movie.
sure people have made that mistake before.
Probably.
This was released in the U.S. in August of 1977, so 2 years after Jaws, during the summer of Star Wars, as a matter of fact. This was a box office success.
Woo!
Compared to its budget, depending on who you read, some people say the budget was only $750,000.
That's what I read, yep.
Other places I've read that it was up to $5 million. That seems unlikely. But the box office in the U.S. was $3 million. So if it was only $750K, then it was a big success.
Well, I've read also that the animatronic octopus was close to $1 million. So that would have been the entire production budget.
Yeah, which they never used.
No, because it sank the minute they put it in water. Did they learn nothing from Bruce the Shark?
Whoever made that thing, did they not realize that it would soak up water or put it maybe somewhere shallow?
So this is the one thing I had a very hard time finding any information on the actual production of this octopus. I think most people probably just scrubbed their names from it and walked away. But yeah, they built out this giant octopus at a ridiculous price point, stuck it in the water and immediately sank. So for the most part, it was just one guy waving around a tentacle in front of the cameras for the rest of the movie.
Or it was shots of stock footage of an actual octopus in motion.
There's a mix of this rubber arm octopus plus real footage, especially when you get in with the orca whales. And that's the other thing I was trying to, because there's scenes where this thing looks, there's a little scuba guy stuck on a rock at the end of the movie, and he's like a toy, and this thing is mammoth. And yet then the orcas come in and attack it, and it looks like the same size as the orcas.
Yeah. So
did they really kill an octopus with 2 orcas?
No, but it was already dead when they filmed that scene, the octopus.
Oh, okay. So they gave him an honorable death.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is on Tubi. So you got to sit through commercials, which is fine, because I think that's part of the aesthetic of a movie like this. You get commercial breaks. It's like, I need to. Yeah,
you need a break. You need a break from this.
But right up front, you see the guy's name, Samuel Z. Arkoff, and I can't help but close up that space and just call him Sam Zarkoff every time I see this name, Zarkoff. Yep. But you're in for a hell of a schlock movie.
When you're an aficionado of B movies, you see this name come up often, and you also see, in terms of Tentacles, the production company of American International Pictures, which put out so many genre exploitation movies. Now, they didn't make this movie, but they just distributed it in the U.S. Yeah,
that's bad enough.
But how did they get this cast? This is an Italian production.
This is a monster cast. No pun intended. But then the people who had to back out of this were even bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is huge.
They have John Huston, Shelley Winters, Henry Fonda.
Yeah.
And as the sheriff, Claude Akins.
Sheriff Lobo himself. He wasn't even a big name back then.
No, this was pre-Sheriff Lobo.
Yeah, because BJ and the Bear, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo was a spinoff of that TV show. And that had to have been 77, 78, maybe 76. That was around the CB craze.
Now, this is so obviously when we don't have the English cast, everybody else is an Italian actor. And they're very obviously dubbed when they come on screen.
Oh, I couldn't tell that at all.
The score is very Italian. It's like a plucked harpsichord. Like,
I thought it was Wednesday Addams playing the harpsichord. She did the soundtrack.
Very similar music to a lot of Giallo movies, and apparently the composer borrowed the themes from previous movies that he worked on and put them in.
They are very
Tentacles.
jarring. They are very jarring in this movie.
So the beginning of the movie gives you a bit of a taste of what you're in for. It's just the opening credits over a radio for like a cab driver's radio for about 3 minutes. And you're like, what am I watching? All you hear is just radio chatter. And then the cab driver drops off his passenger who walks towards the beach past a mother with her baby, and then the camera focuses on them. So you never even go back to the cab or the guy that got out of the cab.
No, and what's weird is that there's a connection where at some point they were trying to blame it on radio waves that was somehow setting this creature off. But it doesn't pay off. You don't pay off, and none of it ties together.
And you wouldn't know it at this point. You're just thinking, why am I watching a radio for 3 minutes?
Yeah. No, it's like, all right, we need an intro. But this is a hell of an intro. So the mom's on the beach with the little baby and the Billy. And then she has a friend who happens to be on the other side of the street. So she leaves the baby in the carriage on the rocky shores all by itself, separated by...
And this is actually a really good scene because you're seeing from the mom and the friend talking, and you see the baby behind them in the distance. Yeah. And there's cars going by, so the baby...
Every time the cars go by, the camera zooms in a little bit closer to the baby carriage.
Yeah, and every time the car goes by, you can't see the baby for the second that the car's driving. Then suddenly a bus comes and blocks your view for a little bit and then moves again and the baby's gone.
Baby's gone. And so this lady asked the other lady, how's a little fatso? Are you kidding me? Yeah, little Billy. Boom, right out of the back. And you see the point of view. Again, you get that Jaws point of view from the water upwards and you're like, oh, something's going to get him.
Because it said that, yes, the giant octopus sank in the water, but they only had one tentacle to wave around. They should have waved it so you could have, in the distance.
Yeah, because I think there's a point where they said that, octopus can reach up to like 38 feet or something like that. I'm like, that would have been every inch of that shoreline for him to reach that baby. There had to have been an easier meal to be had.
So the mother freaks out when the baby's gone. She runs to the beach and she sees the carriage that the baby was in just floating in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So right off the bat, baby Billy is gone.
Yeah. And you hear that damn harpsichord. So Claude Akins later refers to the baby as she. So you're like, what sex is this baby? Yeah.
Well, I mean, Billy can be a girl's name, but
I guess, but
so now you're calling a little girl baby fatso?
Yeah, I know that didn't make sense.
And maybe it's in the translation. Maybe we missed it.
Then the very next scene is you get the peg leg guy on, cleaning his boat. He's already
missing a leg.
Yeah,
it's like half a meal right there. It's like an appetizer, and he gets taken.
You don't see what takes him either.
Mm.
And then you get this teenage couple and the girl is trying to force herself on the boy.
I don't know if she was kissing him or smothering him. Not really sure what was going on.
But this is the first major Jaws tie-in. You get the head of the peg leg guy pop up out of the water.
You get old man Gardner's head pop up. Yeah, that was pretty wild.
This movie is 102 minutes. Probably could have used about a half an hour cut out of it. There is so much boring exposition in this. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, because we get the backstory of Shelley Winters and her husband, Henry Fonda, who is just wearing a nightshirt. He looks like Wee Willie Winky. What is he? Is that not Henry Fonda?
No. This is John Huston.
John Huston. Yeah. I just want to point out, Shelley Winters, during the filming of this movie, is younger than me.
Oh, man.
They do not. And that's supposed to be her kid?
She's got a little kid. Mommy,
did you give birth at 48?
And talk about Wee Willie Winky. When John Huston comes out in his kerchief and his cap, in Night Before Christmas, right. I'm like, don't spread your legs too far, or I'm going to see One-Eyed Willie here in this movie.
The octopus tentacle comes out. Wow! Oh boy! So
John Huston plays like a reporter. And he is trying to get the scoop on Henry Fonda's company that is drilling in the ocean, and this is why the octopus is going crazy.
So again, there's all these weird theories as to what's causing this thing to suddenly attend, but none of it pays off. There's nothing. You want to make an environmental statement about drilling in the ocean, it doesn't pay off. You want to talk about electro radio waves, it doesn't pay off. Nope. None of it does. This thing is just on a rampage. He just wants to eat. Okay.
And John Huston and Shelley Winters are playing brother and sister that live together, like an elderly brother and sister, and the sister just happens to have a 10-year-old son.
Oh, so that's not even her husband. I don't know if I picked up on
No,
that.
It was her brother.
Oh, gotcha. Same year that Pete's Dragon came out, by the way, Shelley Winters.
I read somewhere that the cast probably thought they were getting a free trip to Italy, and that didn't even happen because they filmed in California.
Right? It's just an Italian production.
Yeah.
The octopus was Italian. Hey, call me Scungili.
Apparently, Henry Fonda is the bad guy who owns the corporation that's doing the drilling. He had just had a heart attack, so he only filmed his scenes in one afternoon.
It shows.
And it shows.
In the chair. I don't think he moved. I believe that John Wayne was supposed to have that part. It just says John Wayne was cast, but backed out due to illness, and then he died of cancer in 1979, so 2 years after this.
And they were looking at Yul Brynner as well.
Yes, Yul Brynner and John Houseman both backed out before filming started. John Houseman. That would have elevated this.
I don't know if anything would have elevated this. The bodies that are found of the baby and of the peg leg guy, all the marrow and cartilage have been sucked out of their bodies.
That's a lot of work.
It would have been nice to actually have a little bit of gore and show the bodies in the autopsy room, but no, they don't go there.
No. And I got the impression that guy's name was Bill as well. And I'm like, is this thing just eating people named Bill? He's on a vendetta.
Then we get to meet Bo Hopkins as the orca trainer. And we meet Winter and Summer, the two orcas that he trains.
Yeah, and we get the story later. We get an Indianapolis-style story out on the high seas of why they're called winter and summer. Because they're my favorite seasons. The submersible, the diving submersible, is a Trojan. And the octopus attacks it, and there's a leak. Yeah. Like there's nothing. Nobody wants to get a leak in their Trojan. That's how you get new Billies, though. Bo Hopkins is a weird character going on here.
Yeah, so apparently he is the Richard Dreyfuss character, the expert, the ocean expert that Henry Fonda hires to find out what's going on.
I don't know. He had a really weird relationship with these orcas.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing after hours there, dude, but yeah. And weren't the orcas that were in SeaWorld have curved dorsal fins? Because that's what happens when they're in captivity.
I think they did. They did. Yeah, well,
not at the end of the movie. Yeah. At the end of the movie, they both of them were.
They were erect at the end of the movie. Well, I would be too if I was suddenly in the ocean and I was in captivity my whole life.
Was he allowed to take these out? He put them in this container and drags them out to sea with them. All right, did SeaWorld approve this, that you can take these guys? And it's like he thought, I'm just going to release them in the ocean. They'll come back. It's like, okay.
Well, he asks them at one point, if you guys leave, I'll understand. Yeah, but I'd like you to come back.
He's got one hell of a weird relationship with these orcas. He's kissing them, but we also get the story that we have a junior yacht race coming up.
Up to now, whenever we actually see the octopus, it is stock footage of a real octopus, which looks like stock footage of a real octopus.
Right, getting cut into the existing footage.
Which are very small, octopus are not big things. Octopi are not big things. There's these divers, as we said, that are in this submersible, that one of them gets caught in the water, the other one gets back in a submersible, and the submersible gets crushed. There is a nice little scene where you see the octopus's eye looking at him through the window.
Through the window.
Of the submersible.
He thought he was a baby Ruth.
Other than that, you're just getting all these foreshadowings of this regatta coming at the end of the movie that Shelley Winter's son has entered into. Tommy is Shelley Winter's little 10-year-old son, and he's got his friend. His friend was Willie? Tommy and Willie?
I don't know. I just put him as chum.
And there's this joke that Willie always has to go to the bathroom. Tommy, why does Willie have to wee-wee so much?
Because he's got a little Willie. I don't know.
So you're getting all these exposition scenes, and the victim scenes are just few and far between. Bo Hopkins is married to this beautiful Italian woman, and her sister goes out on a yacht with her boyfriend and this overweight Italian guy. They get attacked by the octopus. There's actually I don't know how they did this, but there's a scene from under the boat when you see the octopus envelop it from underneath.
Right.
I don't know if that was a real octopus in a little boat that they got it to grab onto.
Right, yeah.
But it looked pretty good. Like if they had more of that.
Put like a tuna on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, they do this fat man jump scare like twice before he's finally
pulled under the water by the octopus. Fast forward, and please let's fast forward to the regatta, the yacht race.
Yeah. I do want to mention that whenever they do indicate, so just like Jaws, where you got the little theme, they go out of their way to give this thing like a creepy, heavily breathing, like he just sounds like an old dude hanging outside the YMCA. Like, it's like, I don't think he breathes underwater. It's like, okay, all right, easy there, big guy.
One of the great scenes, and I'll give it this, is during this regatta when you've got 20, 30 boats in this race.
Yeah.
And of course, Shelley Winter's little kid and his little friend are in their own boat by themselves.
She's basically Mrs. Kittner.
And she's got a walkie-talkie to talk to them. And again this walkie-talkie,
back to the electronic tie-in that this somehow it's triggering this thing.
And so you're getting the idea that he's zeroing in on their boat specifically,
right? Because
of this.
She's the only one who's communicating with her little kid out in the water.
I guess so. And you see, it is a great shot of the octopus's head.
Hedora.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Here he comes. Yeah. And he is zooming, man. I don't know how fast octopus can go, but this guy's all cylinders.
But he takes out every single boat in this regatta.
Yeah, this is hysterical because you see this carnage, the boats are flipping over, then all of a sudden it's an aerial shot and every ship is tipped over. That's one busy cephalopod.
It is. And he's doing this just to make his way to the last boat, which is the two kids. And he crushes the boat. So, and again, you only see this in very limited visuals.
A lot of quick cuts.
There's freeze frames of Shelley Winters.
It's really bizarre.
It's bad.
Still framing. And it's only used during the sequence.
So then you get the aftermath. You see everybody's flotation devices just floating on the water. So you get the impression that everybody is dead.
Yeah.
But then
I think he'd be full.
You think he would, but then you see the rescue ship with almost everybody on the rescue ship. So they all got pulled out of the water.
Except for little
Willie.
Little Willie. Oh, little Willie is dead now.
So Shelley Winters, she gets her son back, but unfortunately Willie's mom does not.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. At least my son's safe.
Yeah. So this is the crux for the end of the movie. So now they realize they have to do something. Bo Hopkins gets the idea to transport his two killer whales into the ocean to try to fight the octopus. And they're in their own
There's nothing
capsule.
else we can do. There's nothing else we can do. We got to release the orcas. Oh, okay. All right. This is your battle plan?
Yep.
You got to chase them out to sea. Yeah.
And they're in their own enclosed capsule. So
how did he even get him in there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's sitting on top of it and there's a hole in it. And this is where he's talking to him. If you leave me, I'll understand. If you swim away to the ocean, I'll understand.
He's like, what am I doing here? How did I get in this movie?
Remember I was training you? They called you killers. But you have more love than any human I've ever met.
How do they show love?
They lick them. I don't know.
Yeah, you've had me in captivity all these years, dude. What else am I going to do?
So the orcas get released because the octopus comes and attacks the container.
Okay, I was going to ask because it's very ambiguous as far as all of a sudden they're in the ship and they get tossed around. I'm like, not a single thing is locked down on that ship.
No.
Crap is just flying left and right. And they come out and the container is disabled from the schooner and the two workers are free. And I'm like, well, did they release themselves or did the octopus attack it?
I believe it was the octopus.
Yeah, that was what you were led to believe.
So the whales actually jet at that point. You see them swimming away and they're
swimming away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want any part of this. Thanks, you fell for their ploy. We love you. We'll help you. Just put us back in the ocean. Yeah, okay.
And now the octopus attacks Bo Hopkins and his co-pilot there. So all looks like it's lost and the whales come back. They're back! The epic conclusion. 2 orca hand puppets tearing a dead octopus to pieces.
It is. And it goes on way too long. You know they're filming this. I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, we're going to show every inch of this footage. This is fantastic.
The octopus, obviously it's a dead octopus, so it can't fight back.
Somebody's got to be shaking it around.
Yeah.
To make it look like it's at least putting up a fight. Yeah. I'm like, I think he can grow his arm back. Well, maybe he can't grow 2 of them. Oh, there goes another one.
They take this thing out, no problem. So as soon as the whales start in on it, the octopus has no chance. So, that's how the movie concludes. And the whales swim away again after they beat the octopus.
Well, all right, let's go back and save him. All right, let's save his ass.
So then these 2 guys are on the yacht. They're like, oh, let's go to Africa. Let's go somewhere.
Well, I'm sure not going back to SeaWorld to tell them I lost their 2 orcas. They were the star of the show. I can't go back there.
And then the movie ends a second time with the whales coming back. Like, they're going to all go to Africa together with the whales?
I don't know. I got the impression now that the whales came back, they were actually going to take them back. Why would these whales really want to go back into captivity?
But the funny thing is that the main characters disappear off screen about 20 minutes before the movie ends. You never see John Huston again.
No.
You never see Shelley Winters again.
Nope.
You never see Henry Fonda again or Claude Akins.
It's a really weird movie.
It initially was written as a satire of Jaws, but they decided to go into a serious tone.
Well, I would have probably enjoyed it if there was a little more tongue-in-cheek.
So it was filmed in Atlanta, Pismo Beach, and San Diego, and only the underwater footage was filmed in Italy.
That's why. Only the octopus got to go to Italy. Everyone else got stuck in Pismo Beach.
The script actually had a scene where the octopus destroys the Golden Gate Bridge.
So I saw this. Isn't that just like Beast from 20,000 Fathoms?
Yeah, that's what it happens in that movie.
How big is this octopus? This octopus is not that big. That was a giant octopus. This is like a medium-sized octopus. King Kong could have eaten this octopus.
With the resources that they had, how they could have filmed that, I have no idea.
Yeah, and they're like, the sequence was cut due to time and budgetary constraints. How about believability?
Yeah, or inability.
Inability. He's going for the Golden Gate Bridge. Not again. We just rebuilt that.
In order to make the movie more marketable in America, the cast and crew in the credits adopted U.S. sounding names so they wouldn't seem so Italian.
Bob, that's weird.
Yeah. The final insult to Jaws, they got the same narrator, Percy Rodriguez, who famously narrated the Jaws trailers to try to tie the two together in moviegoers' minds.
In a world where sharks don't exist, but orca whales do.
So,
and this was a year before Orca.
It was the same year as Orca, 77.
77?
I think Orca actually came out first.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. But it was released in Japan in tremble sound. I don't know what that entails.
Oh, is that like when you go to like the 4D theater in Disney and your seat
guess
shakes?
So, and your seat shakes, yeah.
So whenever he breathed heavily, your seat would just vibrate?
Or whenever you heard that harpsichord.
Maybe. That'd be great if they had like little rubbery, wet tentacles that just came out from underneath the seat and grabbed your legs.
Yeah. Again, this thing made money in the US. So I can't imagine paying money and sitting down and watching this. I would be so upset.
I don't know. At the time, maybe you were just hard up for entertainment. You're like, all right, that's killer octopus, man.
But like,
I just got my
obviously, anybody that saw Jaws would see this. There's no comparison between the two. I'd be like, I just watched a piece of shit.
So when did Jaws 2 come out? Was that 78?
78. So that was the year.
So they
after.
didn't even rip off the yacht race.
No, they didn't.
They were ahead of the curve on that.
They were. I'll give them that.
Okay.
I'll give them that.
Interesting.
So buckets? Does this even garner buckets? This movie?
I gotta give it something just for
sitting through it.
Sitting through it. There's some effort there. It's just not much.
No.
I wonder if that octopus didn't sink into the ocean, what we would have got.
Would it have been better than the Goonies octopus?
I don't know. Well, anything was better than that.
Yeah.
That was bad. That was not a good. And he was orange. Yeah. It wasn't even like an anatomically correct octopus. That would have ruined the movie for me. I'll give it 2 1/4.
2 1/4.
I'll give it 2 1/4, and that's being very generous.
And again, that's out of 5. I'm going to go 2, solid 2 buckets.
Just for the employment of orca hand puppets. I will tell you, because it's an Italian production, the artwork for the posters are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple. There's a site I pulled up when I was pulling together my graphics for the Instagram page, and there's probably 10 or 12 different graphic designs.
The poster is more entertaining. The poster is more entertaining than the movie.
That's usually what happens though in movies like this. Get you into the theater.
Yeah.
Wow, looks great. And then you watch it and you're like, wow, that doesn't look like the poster at all.
I want my money back.
Correct. Right. Were you not entertained? No.
I was not.
Yeah. So if you want to get a chuckle, you skip an hour in where the real fun begins.
Yeah. Fast forward to the regatta, the race. Yeah.
Right where you see Hedora's eyeballs coming out of. I'm going to blame radio waves. So we don't know. And at least we didn't get like some little teaser that there were other baby octopi floating in some kind of little cave.
Yeah, they knew that this was one and done. Like
there was no
let's sign off here. Yeah,
buckets in the bottom of the ocean or anything that gave us a tease of a potential trailer.
But I vividly remember the TV spots for this showing on television, and I do remember the voiceover. So the marketing did their job, I guess.
There you go. You got to get people in seats, get butts in seats, man. Whatever it takes. Yeah. So there you go. What could have been if John Houseman and John Wayne had showed up?
Yul Brynner.
Yul Brynner.
Yeah. As his character in Westworld.
That would have been fantastic. He would have rusted. He would have short-circuited the minute he hit does not compute.
He would have been like, the tentacle would have went through him like Bishop at the end of Aliens.
Oh, that would have been one and done. You'll be sorry. So there you go. Tentacles. We finally gave the Goonies back their octopus scene.
We did. You see what we did there? Yeah. That's why.
We're so smart. Yeah. I was on board. Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's fun. At this point, we're just amusing ourselves.
Yes.
That's really what this show comes down to. So speaking of amusement, what else did you do this week? Anything?
What else did I do? I watched a movie that premiered on Hulu just this weekend called Eeny Meeny. And it is starring Samara Weaving, who is one of the new Scream Queens. She was in Ready or Not. She was the bride in Ready or Not. And she had a cameo of sorts in Scream when Scream went to New York. And she was the one in the yellow dress at the beginning that gets killed. So Samara Weaving is in this movie called Eeny Meeny, and she plays a getaway driver who has given it up. She used to drive for the mob.
Oh, this is her one last gig?
Her one last gig because her ex-boyfriend is being threatened by the mob that they're going to kill him if he doesn't pay the $3 million that he owes. There's a job that they offer him, and he can only do it if he has a great getaway driver. So she is talked back in to doing this one last thing for the scumbag ex-boyfriend. It's got Andy Garcia as the mob boss, so there's a bit of validity here. It's pretty good, actually. It's on Hulu. So if you're a fan of car movies, it reminded me of Baby Driver, if anybody's seen that. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, okay.
So I would recommend it.
Let's check it out. Hulu?
Yeah. Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was hoping that you had actually watched Alien Earth.
I have, actually, yes.
Oh, you have? I watched the first episode.
Maybe we should do an episode on that once it's done.
You know what? I would like that. I think we should just do, we'll wait for the episodes to drop. Because I think there's only 8. Are there only 8?
6 or 8. That's usually all there is anyway to anything.
Yeah, I know. But it's interesting because it looks like they are kind of rewriting some of the lore of Aliens,
or just ignoring some of the lore that's gone before, and rather
does that
than
annoy you?
it.
Does that just
no, not really.
Okay. It is what it is.
Yeah, because if these people are ignorant of the black goo and the engineers, then why introduce them? So
correct.
Yeah,
I'm all game for that. All right, so we'll hold off and we will actually cover an entire episode of that.
Yes,
I think that'd be fun.
It would be.
Okay. All right. So I want to bring up this new show that just dropped on Apple called Chief of War.
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa not only created, produced, and stars in it. And I knew of it, but he was on Smartless podcast and he was really talking about it. And he really wanted to kind of give credence and to his heritage because he's Hawaiian. So basically, in a nutshell, this is the history of the Hawaiian Islands and all the different tribes that existed on each island and how they're forced to unite in order to save themselves from colonization. So it's actually, I'm invested. It's very well done. Production wise, it's gorgeous to look at. Obviously, they're filming on the islands. As far as I understand, the costumes are about as authentic as you're going to get. And it's pretty much a history that we know nothing about, because once again, we as white people just come and take over these islands and suddenly we rewrite history. So it's again, I don't think it's a huge, maybe 8 episodes. And I think 3 or 4 episodes have already dropped. So something different. Little I want to say maybe like a Dances with Wolves feel to it.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
So next time we're going to give you another one of our greatest hits episodes.
I like this going back into the well.
Yeah, just like we did with Highlander, we're going to pull out a classic that we covered a long time ago, An American Werewolf in London.
I can't wait to hear how dorky I sounded.
Or how bad the audio is.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that we got a lot better over the years.
I kid myself into thinking that I'm better, and then I'm like, in a lot of ways, I'm like, I'm actually worse. I've learned nothing. 350 episodes. Speaking of which, technically 349.5 would be
so whatever we come back with after that will be 350.
Yeah.
We'll have to think of something good.
I think we're fast and loose with these numbers now.
Yeah.
You're just throwing stuff out there. Yeah. So if you're waiting to hear what next episode beyond that's going to be, we don't know yet. You'll learn along with us.
Yes. But thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you very much. Go back and watch the Goonies again.
Yeah.
It's classic. Share it with your kids if you have not seen this movie. I will tell you right now, I think there's a lot of potty dialogue. The S word and the BS word are thrown out there 19, 20 times. Kehuyquan does talk about, at one point, Data says SHIT, which wasn't in the script, but his parents did not allow him to swear, and he didn't want to get in trouble. So that was his solution to saying the S word.
Well, I think that's actually funny when he says that. So
no, it's great. Yeah, it shows a lot about his personality and this character. So there you go. Goonies, Tentacles.
Goonies.
It's on Tubi if you want to go check it out. Yeah.
Don't come back at us if you think that you've wasted an hour and a half of.
There you go. So thanks for listening, as always.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review.
See you at the concession stand.
Recording.
Do you think One-Eye Willie was a bad pirate because he just traveled in circles? He only had one eye. He had no depth perception.
Or did they name him that because he was very well endowed?